Article 4 of the Constitution recognizes values and principles in Article 10 as a foundation of the Kenyan Republic, which mandates the Public Service Commission to promote them. One of the strategies, identified in the National Values and Principles Policy and the framework for implementation of values and principles is the holding of an annual National Values Conference. The first conference was held in February 2016 at KICC here in Nairobi. It is therefore proposed that the Public Service Commission holds the second National Dialogue Conference on Public Service Values and Principles to provide a forum for top leadership of public service institutions and other stakeholders to dialogue on deepening the values and principles. Well, the Public Service Commission is this morning explaining the scope of the preparations for this conference. We just want to cross over there and listen into what's happening.
Of course, delegation is not abdiction, and that is why we actually follow up to ask and to say that action must be taken. There is what is called the shared responsibilities, because for us, we have this responsibility, and there are the institutions who are actually much more trained in carrying out certain responsibilities. There is the EACC, that is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and we work very closely with them, and they have that responsibility. There is the Director of Public Prosecution. He has that responsibility, and therefore we cannot go and poke our nose and try to be prosecutors. We can't. There is the arm of the police, the investigating arm, the Criminal Investigation Department. There is the National Intelligence Service. All these institutions carry out their responsibility. And mind you, it is linked to the values and principles of public service. So you can see, for us, we have that role, but of course there are institutions that have been mandated by the Constitution to carry out certain functions that we as a commission do not or cannot be able to carry out. Ours is policy. I think we must understand that. And the question on why we didn't have the conference last year, one of the issues is resources. You know that we were in an election mode. And therefore, and that particular month when we were, see, it's coming in August. The month that we were supposed to hold the conference was actually the month that the elections were to take place. And actually, indeed, they took place. So therefore, as a commission, we could not carry on with this conference because of the elections. And you all are alive to the very charged situation that there was. So therefore, we couldn't also hold this particular conference, and that is why we have it this year. And we do hope that 2019, we will hold the conference, because our responsibility is to inculcate the values in Article 10 and 232, and of course, Chapter 6 of the Constitution. That is the reason. The question that the young lady asked, I think, can't remember her name, on the issue of bribery. It is related to all this process of people not doing what they are supposed to do. And therefore, those who call for kickbacks. You see, the commission has 9 commissioners, all from different backgrounds, and we synergize through that professionalism that we all have and bring it in. So if somebody goes and bribes a commissioner, 1, there are 9. So you will be wasting your money, because you will come and sit and the decision will be made by 9 people. Unless you look for these 9 of them, I don't know where you'll get them. Try to look for me. I'll probably be in Melili. Utanipata wapi? And Wednesday, I'm in to make a decision. And you went and bribed Commissioner C. How, it won't work. So really, I would urge also the public, the young people, because us as a commission, we stand for everybody. I don't know anyone. The file comes, I look at that particular file individual, I look at the qualifications. Do you merit? If you don't merit, so, and somebody going to bribe, surely, then it means they actually already have judged themselves that they don't merit. Unatupa pesa tu. So with that, I think I need to say, and that's why we need the public. That's why we are saying we need the public also to understand why we are having this conference on values, principles, and values in the public service. Have I add a little? You'll add. Okay. CEO, this is our captain also.
Yeah, thank you, Balozi. Yes. For the period I've been in the commission, I have not received a bribe, and I'm very proud of that. And I hope beyond me it won't happen, because we are training the young ones not to do it. There have been a lot of talk, of course, about commission bribe. We know we have even been taken to anti-corruption ourselves. We went with the ambassador, and we told them, tell us who you gave it. And because we manage a very, very precious commodity in Kenya today called employment, and it's not enough for everybody. So you can imagine what everybody else thinks about those who have gotten the jobs. But I can assure you, today you can take it to the bank. No one in the commission takes a bribe. And if you know, please tell me today. Number two, the commission lays, Gaido raised it, we lay the standards. And for those who have passed through the commission, I cannot talk about the ones that are employed elsewhere, but those employed within the commission, we have set standards. And where we don't satisfy ourselves with those standards, we say no. And we have said no up to courts. My counsel is not here today, but I've stood in court so many times because of saying no to what was not right. So maybe that is why we need to engage the media more often to assure them that we are doing what the Constitution expected us to do. And we are here to stand by it. We vet the principal secretaries. And those that have passed through the hands of the commission can stand the test of time. The other aspects that they fall into, you know as well as I do, there are issues of finances. And there's as the commissioner said, as the chair has said, these are now financial matters which are beyond the HR matters which this commission is mandated to undertake. But we work together. And where they are found culpable, we have taken action. You know the NYS, Stagger. You know I stood in court for the so-called Halake or whoever was there, and we said the truth. And we said no when they wanted to appoint so-and-so. We said no. So we have not been dormant. We have not been sitting. We have not been playing along. In fact, if you knew the story on the other side, I think you tell us a different story today. Tell us. Thank you. Oh, your sticky hands. Thank you. Thank you, our chair and the CEO. Jane, you have a question to answer or two? Two questions.
Thank you once again. Thank you, Chairperson, Commissioner, CEO, and our guests. I think the question raised by my sister back there is on the numbers of those people who are retiring and what we are doing about it. And I want to say from the onset that we have a total staff strength of the civil service of about 62,368, since most of the staff went to the counties to follow the devolved functions. And of these, we have about 10,358 who are destined to retire between now and the next, that is within the next 5 years. And what do we do when people retire? The commission recruits for the civil service. So we recruit for the ministries or the state departments. What happens is that the ministries will come up with their required skills or the people they need recruited by the Public Service Commission. The commission will recruit from graduate entry. That is what we normally call Job Group J. That is where the graduates from the universities at the lowest level enter. So we will recruit for the ministries, but the ministries give us the needs. Once they have funding, they give us what we call an indent, recruit for us an engineer, recruit for us an ICT person. Then the ministry, the Public Service Commission will recruit and then send the officers to the ministries. So like my seniors have said, a lot goes into this recruitment. As we recruit, we have various policies that guide. We have diversity policy. We have to make sure that once we advertise for these vacancies, and the media, you are our partners,